Hey everyone, it's Coach Mo. How are you today? And this is the third installment of Job Trauma series. If you've missed the first two, go to Facebook and look for my Coach Mo Fall Facebook page. As a matter of fact, hit the notifications there so you'll get notified each and every time I pump out a new training, a new video, or something to help inspire you and move you along. Today's session on job trauma is how to heal it. And I got to say something to you before we get going right away. And that is, you can't do this alone. Every single woman we've coached has had some level of either personal or professional trauma, sometimes both. And in my executive career, I came through many, many episodes of job trauma. And one of the first job traumas that I identified for myself was actually losing my job. The first time I lost my job, I was a young nurse at a cardiac rehab center, and the doctor who was sending the patients there closed the center down because he wanted to open it and own it himself. You heard me right. So he said to me, hey, it's going to take a few weeks to sort out the ownership. I want to bring you back. Just go chill for a while. I didn't get paid. I believed him. And I sat around and exercised and read and did my thing, sort of like a vacation, but I didn't have extra money coming in. And at that time, I wasn't making a lot, and every paycheck I got mattered. So not having a paycheck, I can tell you, I was literally down to the pennies buying Campbell's chicken stew for my meal. I had lost a little bit of weight over those times because I was basically exercising and pinching my pennies before he brought me back 4 weeks later. And that was traumatic for me because I believed in someone. I was scared and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I was doing the right thing. I didn't know if I should have believed him or trusted him. Turns out I did come back and we were thriving and successful for a little while. And then I wanted to grow and do more. So over my career, I went from a registered nurse as a cardiac nurse at an academic medical center in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, all the way up to being a chief operating officer for a national anesthesia company, nationwide responsibility, a team of vice presidents around the country, and really rocking it with a growth plan from 50 million. We got ourselves to 254 in just shy of 4 years. We tripled the company. And I say we, as a chief operating officer, it was my primary responsibility to lead that effort. And one of the things I want to talk about in healing job trauma is one of the things that our clients, and you may have this same issue, when you're traumatized and you feel less than, you're not going to own your power and your strength. And I remember one time as an executive in this final executive position I had as a chief operating officer of this division, I was also responsible for the office configuration and the things that actually happened in our corporate office, which included offices. And if you've ever been responsible for people's offices, where they sit and who they sit next to and that sort of thing, it's dicey. Well, I was one of 3 leaders. 2 of them were physicians and myself. And one of our offices on the executive wall was opened up, and it was a bigger office than mine. And the 2 physicians who were leaders with me both had corner offices that were quite large. So I went from one of the interior offices to the next one because it was slightly bigger, and I was able to have a table inside that office. Well, one of the physicians did not like the fact that I made a decision about my office without consulting her or without involving her, even though she had no responsibility for it. And I took all responsibility for managing the office. I got the wrath of God from her about me having moved my own office that didn't affect her one iota. I was gaslit. I was demeaned. I was talked down to. I was just traumatized. As she was yelling at me, I could feel my whole neck and face get red, burning with anger. And I was so surprised at what she was saying to me. I didn't know what to do. Now, I'm a high-level executive. I'm dealing with client issues, multi-million-dollar contracts, hundreds of millions of dollars in budget money. And I'm a sophisticated executive. And here I am being gaslit and feeling like I had no way out and no good response. I had to pick myself up from that interaction and do something more positive about it. Now, the funny thing is, I had a coach who was assigned to me from our corporate headquarters at that time. And as I talked with my coach about it, her advice to me was that maybe I needed to leave. What? Because of this person doing that to me, I'm the one who's wrong? Now, I'm going to tell you this. You have probably been in a similar situation. And if you don't have a coach who's indicating that you're wrong, bad coaching, by the way, you're probably making yourself wrong anyway, because that's what happens in a toxic work environment. As women, we make ourselves wrong. What did I do? What should I have done differently? How could I have prevented this? We make ourselves wrong because we can't think of another way that this should have gone. I did everything right. I had a responsibility. I moved my office literally to the next door that had no bearing on anyone else. Zero bearing. And yet this was the occurrence. Now, I wish I could tell you that this was the first traumatic experience I experienced as a professional woman. It's not. I had a male colleague once tell me in a meeting with a client, in front of the client, that the reason why I was successful as a healthcare consultant was because I wore short skirts in front of a client. You know, when you get surprised by stuff like that, it's impossible to come back and say something, because it's shocking that an individual human would use their power and manipulation to push another human into a very inhumane and negative scenario. I could go on with the stories that I've personally had in my career. And one of the reasons why I'm here in front of you today is because I have developed a 12-week workshop with intense coaching to bring your soul back to life, with intense expert help. We have a team of coaches who are all experts in everything that you need to bring yourself back. You can't pop back after a job trauma and just be like, okay, everything's fine. It doesn't work that way. So healing from job trauma and up-leveling, getting yourself to the real level where you ought to be at, requires some work. So the healing aspect is something you have to take responsibility for. You have to say, you know what? I do feel crappy about myself inside because of things that have happened. I haven't healed. I've allowed this to fester inside of me. You know, it's just like if you had a ankle fracture and you're training for a marathon and you keep running on that ankle, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to break and get worse. You're going to start to have problems up your leg. This is what happens when we are injured and we don't take care of it. So I'm telling you today, if you have job trauma, and if you're a woman, it's probably 98% that you have some job trauma where you've been gaslit, pushed back, demeaned, sexually harassed, lost your job, been demoted, been told all sorts of negative things about yourself just to put you in your place. mofall.com/talk is the beginning of your trip back to yourself. mofall.com/talk is how you can access one of my awesome team of career breakthrough strategists. We're going to talk to you about really what's going on in your career, what's been holding you back, or what has been missing in order for you to have the career of your dreams, the soul and the inner feelings of yourself. And every single day, every single week, I get to witness women coming back in their soul's truth. Just last night, I coached over a dozen women on how to come back, how to speak about themselves powerfully. And every single one of them was scared of their power, was scared of saying the right thing about themselves because they have a trauma pattern inside of their nervous system that's preventing them from talking clearly and powerfully about what they bring to the table, about what they've delivered in their career. We work with professional women who have a great career, but it gets derailed. Maybe it gets derailed by death of a loved one. Maybe it gets derailed by a job loss. Maybe it gets derailed by a spouse moving to another city. Maybe it gets derailed by a reorganization. Whatever the case may be, if you're a mid-career woman and you're not operating as the human being that you know you can be, and the professional woman contributing in the world at the level that you ought to be at for the stage in your career, at the money that you ought to be at, then you need to talk to us. You cannot do this alone. And I can't be more bold to say that than to say that. Okay? I don't want to put platitudes out here. You and I both know if you could have solved this on your own, you would have. If you could have bounced back and just been like, oh, no problem. I don't mind being demeaned and told I'm nothing and ridiculed for who I am and pushed in my place. You know, there's microaggressions and then there's macroaggressions. And I'm going to get deeper on this topic. So sit tight with me. You might want to strap in your seatbelt because I'm all about unleashing this topic today. Your healing of job trauma and being pushed backwards, marginalized, racist, sexist, all sorts of things that happen to us in a male-dominated hierarchy. The world of work is set up by rules that work for men. And as a professional woman, I was pissed off every single day because I had to play a game that was set up by people that aren't like me and don't think like me, don't have the sensibilities like me. And I had to pretend I was a man in order to win some of the rules. Now, if you're like me, you don't want to be a mini man. You want to be you. You want to be a woman who has grace and intuition and empathy and still powerful and wanting to have great outcomes and lift your team and move things forward, get that needle moving in the right direction and help other people feel better. That's how women are in the world, which is why the studies have begun coming out year after year, how women CEOs have more successful companies. Companies who have a board that is at least half women have much more successful companies. Check out the data, check out what's going on. We are finally coming to the realization that the sensibilities that women have and how we bring that to the table is helpful, profitable, powerful. But for centuries, we've been pushed into a less than situation. And that just starts the trauma pattern. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you're not going to be good at that. Oh, as a woman, you have to think about having kids. Oh, you're not going to be able to do that because your spouse is going to get unhappy if you're too powerful. Over and over again. How about just starting out as a little girl with Cinderella and Snow White? Oh, please save me, sir. Oh, please make my life better by kissing me. You are taught as a young girl that you're not good enough and that you need a savior. Cut the shit. You are powerful. You can lead teams. You can lead profitability. You can do a better job. You can earn more money. You can be more powerful than the men around you. Yes, you can. And in order to heal from the trauma of you buying into the myths and the legends and the aggressions pushing you down, you need expert help. You need to be surrounded by teams of coaches who know what to do and a community of other women who are aggregating around you, helping you heal. Every woman I coached last night who was in my coaching room said, just listening to that powerful coaching, Mo, I feel healed. And every single day that they're on a coaching call, they're healing and they're coming back. Some women so traumatized that they've had spouses who have committed suicide. They've had spouses who have drugged them through debilitating divorces. They've been lied to by bosses. They've been short shrifted by companies. They've been pushed back. They've had money taken away from them. I mean, everything that happens in life is a potential trauma pattern that's still sitting in your nervous system, helping you feel less than. And I want to help you feel more than. I want to help you bring your soul back to life. I want to help you heal. I want to help you grow. I've got a woman in the workshop right now, and she's literally battling with her boss who has been marginalizing her, taking her off of projects and not communicating properly to her. And she's a very talented IT change management person, very talented. The right degrees, the right certifications. She took a job for less money because she wanted to get a start in a different niche. And she's been treated like crap for about a year and a half now. And she has no other recourse but to try to fight back. And as I was coaching her last night, I said, here's the thing. You're not going to win. You're not going to win the fight. You're just going to get more pissed off and more marginalized. And eventually you're going to lose big time. And what's going to happen is because you're fighting a battle you'll never win, you're going to have to convince yourself that you can't win in the work world. Now, since she's being coached, we're going another direction. I'm helping her navigate this situation in a way that's more powerful for her. I'm helping her understand and appreciate the win that's there for her. I'm helping her understand and appreciate what she brings to the table and articulate a higher level and apply for jobs that she's really suited for that are 2 levels above where she is right now when she's being treated less than. Because at the level she's at in her organization, she's not being recognized or appreciated for what she brings to the table because she's too low in the org chart. So helping her see herself and what she's done already in her career and up level is the only antidote here. Now, in order for her to play at that level, we have to help her heal from the messages and the misleading truths that she's taken in about herself. And this woman is also experiencing racism and sexism. It pisses me off to no end. Trust me, it does. And she's pissed off. And when we're pissed off, we're going to either fight or flight. There's 2 other things we do. We freeze or fawn. And most women, in order to stay in an environment that they feel like they have to stay into, they either freeze, which means you get stifled and stuck, and then you get pushed backwards, or fawning, which is people pleasing. So if you start moving yourself into a people pleasing modality, you are cooked. If you push yourself into a freeze modality where you're just sort of like, whatever you say, boss, okay, no problem. I guess I'll just go do that work. Okay. Neither of those work either. Fight doesn't work and fleeing doesn't work. I'm a huge advocate to not quit your job. I'm a huge advocate to not quit, but to learn and grow through whatever it is that's in front of you. We don't quit as humans. It's not in our nature to give up. It's in our nature to rise up. And as a professional coach, as a woman who played at the highest ranks in the executive suite and had a career that I kept up leveling, and trust me, I was working on myself all the time. I was being a better version of me. I hit every struggle, every obstacle, and every challenge that I've ever coached a woman through in my 8 years of coaching. I've personally been through that. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to be pushed back and pushed down in corporate America. And I am on a mission to help as many women as I can up-level their souls, land their dream jobs, and have dream lives. How about Maria? Maria was so traumatized and couldn't do her job good enough for her ex-military boss. She was doing the job of 3 people because that's how many people replaced her when she finally did quit 12 years later, after ignoring her husband for years, after ignoring her kids for years, doing what she felt she had to do to keep her breadwinning job and to keep the family going in the right direction. She was exasperated and depleted, totally traumatized by a boss she couldn't satisfy. And frankly, she probably couldn't have ever satisfied a boss like that. But she tried everything, and what she used mostly was overworking, people pleasing. She was fawning. And yet, all the while doing that, she was poisoning herself with negative thoughts about herself. I'm not good enough. I can't possibly. I'm not going to be able to satisfy him. I can't do this work as much. I need help. I'm never going to get it. Poisoning herself. Now, she saw a Facebook Live just like this, and she booked her complimentary career clarity call, mofall.com/talk. And we had a clarity call. I helped her get clarity on exactly what was going on before she quit. And as a matter of fact, in the month after she quit, until the time she and I spoke, she wasn't getting anywhere with her job search because secretly inside, she was protecting herself from that situation ever happening again. And you know what women do in order to survive in that scenario? Downshift. So making 150,000, she was thinking, well, if I could make 80 or 90, could I still keep the family going at that income level? There's no way she would have been happy in a downshift. She was built for more. She's built for 200 plus. And yet she was working her ass off, trying to please a boss who was not able to be pleased. And as a matter of fact, how much of that is sexism going on in the workplace that we camouflage as basically a bad boss? Every single day, I'm coaching women through these exact scenarios. Maria finally healed her soul and realized just how depleted and broken she really was. She forgave herself for the reasons why she hadn't given her husband or her family time. She got herself off the hook and healed. And at about that same time, where she started to feel better about herself, a brilliant, beautiful dream job comes down the pike. Well, now she's got the best resume. Now she's got a LinkedIn that speaks to her power and what she brings to the table. And she was able to interview powerfully using our techniques. She was able to move herself into an offer state, and we helped her negotiate a higher level offer and really feel into the job. You know, the funny thing is, her new boss's name was the same as her old boss's name. And at first, her trauma pattern was even stalling her out and wanting to interview for the job when she found out that he shared the same name as the boss that she quit on. It already was provoking a trauma pattern just thinking about it. And I said, not everyone with that name is an asshole. I suppose you're right. Let's heal even more, and let's get you ready for those interviews. She's been in that awesome, beautiful job for about a year now, and she is thriving. Her husband and she has been on an anniversary trip. She's taken her kids to Disney. She's had lots of fun and happiness being a balanced executive, not having to overwork to prove herself, not having bosses who are riding her ass because she can't possibly do enough. This woman is smart. She is capable. She's freaking awesome. She's fun. She brings so much to the workplace. And she was able to do the work of 3 people. Talk about a trauma pattern, overworking, people pleasing. And then eventually she quit. Now she's a healed, powerful, beautiful version of herself. So now her future's more secure. Her heart and soul are happier. She's back being the wife and the mom that she's wanted to be. And she didn't have to sacrifice her career for it. She was able to be fully herself, fully in a professional contribution, getting the compensation that matches what she brings to the table. And her current company that she's been there just about a year is already telling her she's on the promotion track for more as they grow. She's thriving. And a month before we started working together, she was sad, depleted, and struggling to find herself. That complimentary clarity call will help you uncover what's really going on. And hey, look, if we can't help you, we'll direct you in another way. But chances are, if this message is resonating with you, if you're a professional woman mid-career and you're not where you need to be, and you've been held back by either other people's bullshit or the hierarchy in which you've been thrown into as a woman, or just simply bad people along the path that you have been misled to believe, if any of that resonates for you, I am pretty sure that we can help you. But we don't work with just anyone. We want to work with women who are ready to do the work and show up for themselves and change things forever. That's what the Clarity Call is all about. It's mofall.com/talk. And we've got a team of career breakthrough strategists who I absolutely love and adore. These women are awesome. And you're going to have an awesome, powerful conversation. When you book that call, please pay attention to the time slot and book yourself a time that you can be focused on numero uno, yourself. Healing job trauma is a life-altering wound to heal. And if you don't heal it, if you don't take care of business and get responsible for yourself and what's in front of you, you will be held back for the rest of your career and the rest of your life from your potential. And to me, that is the greatest sin that we as humans can have, is to believe the bullshit and lies from other people and marginalize our soul and our potential and not live up to our God-given talents, not live up to what our divine creator put inside of us. Don't let other people win. And that's what job trauma does. Job trauma has other people, bad characters, or just flawed human beings winning on us. I don't want that for you. I didn't want it for me. I had a very thriving career, and I learned all along the way how to lift myself up from the inside so that I could have better external outside outcomes and a thriving career. And I would do it all over again. I would take every misalignment that I had because I've come through it. And by coming through it, I'm able to coach you on how to come through yours. And I mean this with everything I have to say. Your job trauma does not define you if you choose to do something about it, but it will define you if you choose to leave it alone. Do not do that. Book your complimentary career call at mofall.com/talk and come on board for a beautiful career call with one of my career breakthrough strategists. And let's own the truth of what's really possible for you. And let's help you get out of the mire and the muck and the quicksand of the hurt and injury, the job losses, the personal losses, the traumas. We'll move you through it. We will. On the call, you'll get super clear on what's really going on and what our strategy can do for you. I hope to see you in the coaching workshop. We call it Kick-Ass Career Workshop because I want you to feel kick-ass in life. We're going to help you be soul-powered so that you can be like Maria and literally over 2,000 other women in every profession who have come back from a traumatic scenario, who have come back from being lower level, been marginalized, pushed back, demeaned, etc. You have in you a powerful soul that wants to be lit back up and fuel that into your profession, whether you're an engineer, accountant, IT, whatever the case may be. There's more for you in life. There's more for you for your future. And that satisfaction of playing the level that you're built for and that you really have talent for is going to feel so good. This is Career Coach Mo Fall. This is the third of a series of job trauma. And I'm talking today about healing from job trauma. I'm talking about bringing yourself back. I'm talking about bringing your soul back to life so that you can have a dream career and bring your soul to work every single day, thriving, loving Mondays, and feeling great about your boss and your team. Every single day in my Kick-Ass Alumni Facebook group, I see women posting about how lovely their lives are, how much they love their jobs and love their team. And then from time to time, things go sideways again. And guess what? They have all the tools from our 12-week program to access over a lifetime. And they can keep getting themselves back layer after layer, step of their career after step of their career. It's a worthwhile thing for you to invest in yourself, to bring your soul back and your career back, and to be the woman you want to be. Your future depends on it. Your finances depend on it. And your family depends on it. Be the most powerful version of you. Have a dream life, a dream career, and bring your soul back to life. mofall.com/talk. Book that call today, right now, while you're motivated and feeling it. mofall.com/talk. And we'll see you in the coaching workshop to help you heal and bring yourself back in a powerful, powerful way. We'll see you there.